has really enjoyed that champion. But the Shen feels like a bit of flavor of the month, and they are going to be banning that one away from Keria this time. Not going to allow that Stand United extra flexibility onto the Rift.
I don't think they have to play Mage bottom lane. I don't think they have to play the Cassiopeia. I think they absolutely can run
I think you just lock Nautilus and you can do whatever the heck you want.
You can Nautilus, you can Caitlyn Bard. You know, you have so many options here as FaZe and Keria to...
Or just lock Bard. Yeah. That's another good one.
I think it is just going to be the Caitlyn Bard, as maybe Guma could deny it, potentially. It's one of his favorites here in the bottom lane, but what it comes with would be a bit of a question mark. There is the Caitlyn. Maybe let's go Caitlyn Nautilus.
I mean, the Ezreal is still up and available here, so FaZe could jump onto that one if you would like to. A very strong lane alongside the Bard as well, but it's
Karma.
It's Karma
the
Caitlyn.
Classic.
They're just going to try and just smash the lane as best we possibly can on Harma Life Esports' side. And is it just going to be an Ezreal, or are we going to be picking something for Faker to try and take down this Orianna that isn't named the Cassiopeia and allow that flex to come through?
I think it's going to be really hard to play Cassiopeia Bard into Caitlyn Karma.
I would
the
agree.
Ezreal you mentioned is just so much more flexible, so strong into the Jarvan and the Ambessa, especially with the fairly recent nerf to Ambessa's channel time on her ultimate. Gives Ezreal so much ability to escape it. So
to the map for Doran as well. And so T1 probably feeling great coming out of that champ select. Let's see whether they can put it into motion on the Rift as we load up and get ready to get into game number one. It's EWC knockout stages here in 2026. And we'll see who is going to be able to keep themselves alive. This is a best of three where one team is going home immediately after this. It is just done. There is no lower bracket to fall back to. You just have to keep winning.
You absolutely do. This is Kanavi's second most played champion of the year on this Jarvan. Talk about how iconic Keria is on the Bard, but Kanavi similarly on this Jarvan. 70% win rate across so many games, 17 of them. And see how he does perform here, because I think a lot of this early game is going to be about him, his early pathing, and which lanes he can impact. Most likely the bottom lane, but that immobile Cassiopeia also a potential target.
Yep. HLE looking to try and grab the shove here in this lane. They should definitely be able to do so. Caitlyn Karma is just very, very strong when it comes to getting control of minion waves. You can see they're doing so. Decent job being done here by FaZe and Keria to try and clear out the minions where they can.
You can see it evened up in terms of the lanes there, and not a huge push, but at the cost of a lot of health of FaZe and Keria to do so. So not a free neutralization there, and Hanwha Life will continue to apply that pressure. Every Q from both Guma and Delight hits hard.
Okay, the difference here is the fact that there is Oner moving down towards his bottom side. There is going to be the trap put down, but FaZe able to walk out of it just before it arms.
And Keria had to use his magical journey to escape, so it's on cooldown. I don't think there's really any way Oner can impact a play here. So this is just going to be a continued push for Guma and Delight. FaZe eats another Mantra Q. That is a really, really big amount of damage he's taken here. This is very risky to stay against this cannon wave, but luckily for them, Kanavi is on the other side of the map.
Yeah, and this is what this lane is supposed to do, right? If you are a T1 fan and you're watching, you're like, oh no, it's a disaster. Well, it's kind of what's going to happen. That's what it said on the tin as we came out of Champion Select, and we'll see whether they can utilize these solo lanes in order to get some advantages. This should be a good one for Doran on the top side of the map. I know he's had some ups and downs, but navigating a Renekton into Ambessa matchup is something I am still confident he will be able to do relatively well, as the Ruthless Predator comes out towards that top side as I'm saying it. There is going to be a Kanavi up there just finishing his full clear. Both junglers looking to meet on that first scuttle on the top side. Delight moving on over, but Keria hot on his heels. It's Faker, not a whole lot of mana here as they do converge. So that is going to be Delight now in a lot of trouble. He might actually have to flash to get himself out of this. Decides that the Command Protect is going to be enough, and Kanavi going to get punched here by Oner a few times. Did manage to get that knock up, but just both junglers trading blows and will back away.
Yeah, Kanavi had cooldown advantage there, so that was a little bit scary for Oner to stay, as he had gotten caught with Delight actually sticking around there on that Karma. could have been very dangerous. And they will be able to take the scuttle. But it's hard to get a huge amount of value when the enemy support is following you there on a gank like what we just saw. So we'll just be a reset. Back to the mid lane here for Zeka. Teleporting in. The game is dead even, with the exception of that small lead in the bottom lane, which is expected. If you don't earn a lead like this, you probably shouldn't be playing the Caitlyn Karma, right?
Yeah.
And it is Guma, of course, one of the most iconic Caitlyn players, if not the most, of all time. So, everything is going exactly as planned. It's really the mid-game where this game is going to open up. No one's made any major mistakes just yet.
And this is the really dangerous time, right? You can have a look at the backs. There's a pickaxe in Gumayusi's back pocket. His Pay's actually going to get a nice proc on that W as he does dash on forward. But yeah, pickaxe versus Tia is not exactly a great battle stats situation for the Ezreal. So Pay's going to have to make sure that he takes these smart trades in order to get some advantages, because otherwise Guma will just win out in the straight-up DPS war. Zeka and Faker just fighting it out here in this mid lane. Nothing really to report as we can see.
Oner has a
very
slight camp tempo advantage. Like, he's getting his very, very slightly faster. He's actually on the bottom side of the map right now as a result of that. This is a very scary moment.
Yeah, Keria making his way over. Oner is going to join him. Great net going to connect onto Pace as the flash over the Vault Breaker is going to keep HLE's bottom lane safe. That being said, now Gumayusi not with that flash. Very important. Faker now in a fair bit of trouble as well, as Kanavi just leapfrogs the miasma and looks to see whether he can get on top of Faker here. Not investing his flash either, knowing that Faker can flash away. But now the flash comes in. Q secures first blood, and that's Kanavi getting off to the perfect start for HLE.
Makes you wonder if there should have been more communication about the fact that Kanavi was not contesting there in the bottom side. Faker too far up, and with Jarvan having such a long engage range on top of that flash to follow, Faker was going to have a hard time getting out no matter what. Didn't have level 6 for any sort of outplay there. And unfortunately for T1, first blood will go to Hanwha as a result. Great flash away from Guma as well. If he gets caught there and he dies as well, it's a 1-for-1, right? And that ends up being a cross map, but instead it's an escape plus a win for Kanavi.
Yeah, and this Jarvan well and truly accelerated. We set up the series saying that it's going to be largely about what Kanavi can get done. And already takes the dragon down, takes the goat down, and is able to go back now and see what he can put together. Still things quite even as far as camps taken are concerned, and Oner is going to try and push that even further into his advantage, as those Krugs seem to have his name on it.
A lot of indexing here to the top side of the map by T1, faster than Zeka can rotate. And they need to make this happen fast because Zeka is coming up, as we are going to see that dive here onto Zeus.
Yeah,
Ult at the ready.
It's going to be okay. There is the public execution. The flash out of the way as Faker is not going to find the petrifying gaze. That is a lot of healing onto Zeus here as Faker's taking up the turret and Zeka takes him down. Overstayed his welcome greeting for the kill. And that is 2-0 here for HLE.
Zeus just played it so well. Ults instantly to get the unstoppable, is able to flash away, and Ambessa has all of that healing to come through as well, and they just don't have the damage. Doran flashes away. Faker commits heavily, thinking he's not going to get out. He dies. They get nothing. It's 2 kills here for Hanwha Life Esports, not to mention an incredibly heavy commitment from T1. Doran's flash now on cooldown. They really get nothing out of this play.
Yeah, HLE in a pretty phenomenal position now. 1.3 thousand in the lead. 1 minute until these grubs are going to spawn. And T1 starting to feel like they need to make something happen in their direction. We'll see what kind of plays they're going to have for us. They are no strangers to being a little bit behind in these games. We have seen it all EWC long. We saw it in MSI, and we saw it in the LCK. This is just the way of the circus, ladies and gentlemen. They like to keep you on your toes. But this is the MSI champs. This is the first place team in the LCK, and a team that has been able to take down T1 in the past. It was a 3-1 last time they met at the road to MSI. And HLE are not a team to give very much quarter.
No, certainly not. T1 have a lot of scaling in this draft, and the spikes for Faker and Pays will come much later on in this game. So stabilization is now the name of the game. mentioned earlier that the big fights were going to happen around those mid-game Drakes and the Herald. Right now, Grubs are spawning, as you guys can see the bottom right of your screen. But T1 need to be careful now about fighting and contesting these early objectives since they're already so far behind, because that could just end the game. If they lose another big fight, HLE will just be too big to fail, as they are going to come over here and contest this blue.
As the knock-up, as that's Cataclysm, Oner able to get out of there with an immediate Vault Breaker. And so that means Kanavi's ultimate doesn't do a whole lot. Zeka now just playing some defense as you've got Pays moving on up towards this top side. Good defense, though, played by T1. Keep everyone safe.
Yeah, just gotta let it go. Gotta back out there. If you lose too many members, it's just going to be lights out in this game. They're already on such a teetering knife's edge to be able to stabilize here. We know they can do it, but any more heavy losses and it won't be possible for anybody. As Pays heading up here to try to poke away, they want to be able to get one of these Grubs at least if possible.
And right now all of them are going to reset as HLE with 4 men strong. There's the flash in. Cease and desist comes down. That's so much damage. They blow up Gumayusi in a heartbeat. And now the Crocodile is going to dive forward. Kanavi's taken out. Delight limping away. And Zeus teleports in to just vacate the area. That's going to be all the Grubs, and T1 answer back.
I mean, it doesn't get more laser focused and coordinated than that. I was starting to shake my head thinking, I don't know about this contest, T1. They're better set up. They have everybody there. But watch this angle. Boom, flash ult onto Guma. Pays is already channeling the true shot. That follows up. Doran is a raid boss even this early into the game on the Renekton. He picks up the shutdown here onto the Jarvan. And then they have Faker following up for the TP, can head straight back to mid lane. That was a clean contest. It is really just a snap engage there from Oner, taking out his former teammate Guma.
Yeah, Gumayusi now back out onto the map, but Keria is chasing him down. Delight will be able to move up here to make it a 2v2, but the flash in! He manages to get the Cosmic Binding, the flash away is there! He gets the shield from the Inspire, and I think he'll stay alive, but he'll have to go home, and T1, they are not messing around anymore.
They're after Guma, and Pays with a really, really nice follow-up there, but unfortunately misses that last Mystic shot. And Guma is able to buy enough space there with a shield coming through from Delight to escape, but he's going to have to back. So this lane no longer fully in Guma's control. He has a slight gold lead still, but is not going to feel comfortable with what just went down there and won't be able to further anything for a while. And just like that, T1 snapped back into this early game.
Yeah, it's a much better position that they find themselves in, and you were talking about it. I think that T1 will find a lot of power when 2 items come in for both this Cassio and the Ezreal. And that is looking like it's going to be a lot more of a comfortable ride that they'll be able to pick up for themselves. Ace in the Hole comes on through as Pays going to trade that with his barrier. And Kanavi is going to be blast coning his way in, but is greeted immediately by Oner, taken down to 50% health in an instant. As Cease and Desist will follow him over, and Kanavi's just punched around like a ragdoll. Will be able to flash out of the way, but that just gives a kill over the Pays. Oh no, another one now as it's set up onto Delight, and a double kill for the Ezreal is probably the worst news that HLE could have got.
And the T1 fans are loving it. And this unfortunately harkens back as Guma's also in trouble here.
Oh dear, they're going for the 2v1 dive as Keria just magically journeys his way out. Guma is going to survive just a little bit. Doran, oh dear, he wants a piece of this pie. He's just going to slice and dice his way over.
Everyone wants a piece of Gumayusi right now on this T1 squad. And he just gets taken out a second time. As this, unfortunately, for Hollow Esports kind of harkens back to earlier in the year, some haphazard decision-making from Kanavi alone. Going on this Blaskin without information. The Vi is here, and Oner's just like, what? All right, I'll take the freebie. Commits the ultimate here. And even though the Karma is nearby, the shield is just a feeble attempt. And like you said, this flash here with no information on where Pays is just gives the kill exactly where they don't want it. He picks up a double, and they're able to do it with Doran's help. Finish off Guma as well. T1 5-2, and now in a commanding gold lead.
Yeah, things looking absolutely fantastic for T1 off the back of that play. The only thing that HLE still have going for them is the fact that Zeka has close to an 800 gold lead in the mid lane. That is balanced out very, very nicely elsewhere on
Guma!
the Guma, I don't know what we're doing here. Outside of dying.
Jumping out of the bush.
You gotta be careful with crocodiles, Wolf.
Yeah.
You know, they are very dangerous over short distances.
Yes, they move quite quickly. And yeah, Guma, that's his third of the game, his deaths. stacking up here, and he was in the lead, and now he's 1.1.
Scanning around the screen as Doran, he's the one down here on this bottom side of the map. Gumayusi is respawning and making his way out. And HLE, now they have to try and desperately stabilize. Before, it was T1 making their way back into the game. Now, it's T1 with full control of the game.
Yeah, getting that win on the Grubs was a start. But then the second kill onto Kanavi there, then getting Guma second time afterwards, and then getting Guma a third time. And I mean, the dominoes are well and truly falling over here for HLE at this point in time. They have a strong mid-game comp, but the Caitlyn is not a part of that. And she is now, she was one of the leaders earlier from the laning phase, but now 1,000 gold in the hole here for Gumayusi.
Yeah, it is looking really worrisome. Zeus going to move down towards his bottom side to catch this wave. The Doran is shoving his way. But it's a 3-0-0 Renekton. And maybe even more. Cease and desist comes down. Keria turns off the turret. And the public execution is not going to save Zeus this time. It's Oner that grabs the kill. But man, I mean, HLE are just reeling.
You can't be here.
I don't know what we're doing here. He's just going to flag and drag his way out. But Doran is going to take that first turret down and move T1 to a 3,000 gold lead.
Now this is a massive advantage right now, as Kanavi's not going to get his Gromp either. Smoked by Oner, and the angle on that ultimate from Keria to make sure he doesn't hit the Ambessa, but is able to just graze the edge of that turret to disable it. It's just the kind of thing you expect from Keria on one of his best champions, and most iconic this year.
And now booking it towards his top side of the map. Kanavi just cannot go anywhere without being discovered. Hayes finds every button in the Jarvan, finds the death chamber for the third time in this game.
This game just feels like it's hide on bush. The whole T1 squad edition is okay.
Keria maybe in a little bit of trouble, doesn't manage to flash away from the 90 caliber net, but there is the flash forward from Delight. Hayes keeps his bard alive, and T1 not going to be falling down in that scrap.
Had that net connected, headshot wouldn't have followed to take him out for certain. So a good flash there, but now he is flashless. As Hayes is walking a tightrope here, very low on health and mana.
Bit of extra damage here towards this turret. The flash forward from Guma, he wants to get it, and he fails!
Oh, why do you go for it, Guma? I know you're behind in this one, but Hayes has got the barrier. That was such a risky play, and it does not pay off. Hayes is 4-0 and Guma is 0-4. True opposites in this game as he pulls up to a 1,500 gold lead. So watch the first-person view here. Hayes holding strong. He's up a level. He has just enough mana here to try to hold on. He just wants to thin the way, barriers this damage. And question mark fakes him!
No!
My God!
Oh dear. Yeah, that was an odd situation, and I've been that tilted before, Wolf. Don't you worry, we all make those decisions sometimes. Is Kanavi going to try and get out of the enemy jungle, but I don't know whether Oner is going to let him. Cease and desist is there, he follows the Jarvan over, the flash forward, the two-man shockwave is just doing nothing, but Kanavi, he flashes, the follow is going to be there, and now Oner is going to chase Zeka out of this top lane. The dissonance is helping, but the Vault Breaker is going to slow him up, and I think the Orianna will be safe for the moment. But T1, man, they only know one direction, and it's forward this game.
This Guma's hiding, tucking tail, and running between turrets. That's
my God, Thor just pops out of the bushes yet again.
T1 have squeezed every last drop out of the orange. There's no Hanwha life on this rift. It is just done. That's 16 minutes here, nearly 17. I think this game is completely done, Atlas. T1 taking this mid turret. It was an early pick onto Guma that made us feel like the game could be competitive, but everything that followed after that, there's just been T1 hiding on bush, popping out of bush, and now Pei's taken over. He's fully stacked his tier. He's going to have his Muramana completed very soon, sub 20 minutes. And they're going to look for this dragon now as well. Will be their second of the game. It's an Infernal. Space says no Guma in this map.
Yeah, he's going to teach Guma how to do it, and that is how. Have way more money, and then just hit him a couple of times. Delight is going to try and slow up this Ezreal as Keria takes a magical journey over. There's the miasma down, and Kanavi, I mean, he might make it towards this inner turret, but it ain't helping, ladies and gentlemen. HLE are just falling apart here in this game.
There's hardly a good choice to make for them now as they've stacked their Soul Landers topside here to try to get a bounty turret and try to maybe kill Doran as Zeus is waiting alongside. Doran goes forward. Here's the angle.
Yep, there's the shockwave connecting on to this Renekton. Delight is going to show up to try and figure something out as well, but I have a feeling that Doran is going to be all right. No slow to come in, and he just gets himself out of there. Now Pays and Keria are turning up, and HLE, I mean, they're trying to deal with this turret. The Tempered Fate goes down, though, and the Ambassador is in a lot of trouble. True Shot Barrage finishes off the Orianna. Zeus, he wants something back, but he doesn't even find the public execution. It is just privately an absolute domination here from T1 as Delight is going to run away.
Pays is so early on in his career. He has so many kills to his name so quickly. He's
so
moving up the leaderboard.
Well.
I know.
See whether he can find another one in this game.
He's just insane.
A whole bunch of knockups come on through. The season assist from Oner as Pays absolutely godlike. Gumayusi going to get another dose, and Kanavi, the next one to probably fall, takes the magical journey over. Arcane shifts back. He is just styling on him.
Don't let Pays get a 2-item spike before 18 minutes or you're going to see a game like this. I want to point out also in that topside turret secure, Keria was like a millisecond away from Tempered Fating the turret and denying them from even getting that bounty, which is all they got. They lost everything else. So this game is off the rails.
Oh, man. Just
Zeka's ult just dodged.
Yeah, to get out of the way of a shockwave. I mean, HLE, they are incredibly far behind, right? So there's not a whole lot they can do here, but the way that T1 just took hold of this game was absolutely ridiculous. Dodges the flag and drag with the magical journey and then just comes back and kills him. It's beautiful out of Pays.
This is just the kind of game that is a showcasing of what T1 are capable of when they get even a slight lead, what they can turn that into. And speaking of TSM,
glad we got to pop over and say hi to Double F. Doran, he's just going to move away. I think he'll allow Kanavi to have a Gromp this time. As Kanavi's going to see whether he can take down the Crocodile yet again. He does press that pesky E button yet again. And that might be enough to get himself out of the way. Flag and Drag does come on through. Tempered Fate buys a bit of space.
They're getting barren while the Crocodile is just fleeing. He gets away, they get nothing. And T1 get the Purple Worm at 20 minutes. A classic for T1. They're so far ahead, they could do no wrong. They can do whatever they want.
Hayes coming on over here, looking to see whether he can take down this inner turret. I have a feeling he will be able to. Zeus nowhere near strong enough to contend with this Ezreal sitting on 3 items. Ladies and gentlemen, we talk about the 2-item spike. At about the time he's supposed to hit it, he picks up 3. Like this guy is just so incredibly strong. 904 on the Ezreal. And T1 now with this Baron, they haven't gone for a reset just yet outside of Faker. Does come back with 2 items himself. But now, I mean, the pressure is just so ludicrous out of T1 here. They are looking to put HLE out of their misery here in game number 1.
Has such great siege with this insanely fed Ezreal. Shojin's done on 3 here, 21 minutes, 3rd item. He shoots lightting with his Q, and they just cannot step up.
Zeus is like, man, that's my thing. Come on. Must be the case. All right. HLE desperate to try and find any sort of comeback here in this game, but at 21.5 minutes, a 9.6 thousand gold lead. Surmountability is at an all-time low. It's at a premium level. Yeah, it's not exactly the easiest
The
thing.
only thing that can be surmounted in this game is Faker's gold deficit. He's got 3 in the hole.
Yeah,
the only thing they can get that they don't have on your scoreboard right now is Rod of Ages is going to complete. Zeka's only a few seconds behind him in that regard, but that was the one lead Hanwha had, the one piece, the one advantage, and it just doesn't matter. 9-0-4 on this Ezreal. FaZe does not get the assists, he gets the kills.
And Kanavi doesn't get the Wolves, I don't think, as we're going to have a look at this one from FaZe's perspective. Kanavi just extremely dead. They're going to bide their time waiting to see what Guma's going to do, and he's just going to walk a little bit southward and die. Now another one as FaZe is just going to rain these Mystic shots down. True Shot Barrage flies over. Zeka dies as an afterthought here to a very angry Crocodile as T1 will just walk in through the front door and obliterate the base of HLE. What a statement here in game number 1 in our first game of the knockout stage. T1 do not want to be going home today, and HLE, if the MSI champs want to stay at EWC, they're going to have to do damn better than that.
They certainly will, as